Hi, I'm Stavros and welcome. In this video I'll be taking you on a full tour and test drive of Scania's 560S. This is their Super 13 litre engine. So we'll be talking about their 13 litre lineup of engines and seeing what this is like out on the road. Let's go on a tour. Taking a look around Nolan's 560S then. So this is Scania's most powerful 13 litre straight 6-cylinder diesel engine. 2,800 Newton meters of torque. So there are 9 13 litre diesel engines on Scania's lineup, 4 of which are the Super and 5 of which are the non-Super. So I know it's a bit confusing having 9 engines but on your 13 litre diesel engine lineup, but yeah, this is the most powerful one. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. This one is finished in a kind of a pale grey. It's a non-metallic colour that Nolans have specified on this. Not really my colour of choice, but with these demo models they like to have them in different colours just to give transport operators an idea of how they look in different shades, so that's fair enough. And we have the Super decals there at the side as well, and on the front Nolans put on this badge. It's backlit, their own Super badge. Usually from the factory they have one up here which you can specify without them, which is what I would do because I don't really like them on the front of the trucks. In any case, we have 5 nicely integrated white LEDs at the back of the grille. I like that on the 560S. And up here as well we have a very nice blind spot camera. So that is giving you a view down around this area, which I will show you when we hop into the cab. So I'm just gonna open up the cab door there because I want to pull this latch which unlocks the grille and give you a look behind that and show you a feature here that I like on the Scanias. So instead of having the jacking bar here that you would normally use to tilt the cab, and that bar is positioned here, we have a cab tilt function. So you can electronically tilt the cab with that remote. So that's quite nice to have on the Scanias. I like that. You top up your oil here. We have our 2 airbags on the front of the truck and 2 more at the rear. Make the cab nice and comfortable, and your coolant bottle there. The back of the grille is pretty much the same as you would see on the S580 V8 that I drive. It's very similar behind the grille. So let's close it up and walk around the side of the truck. Now on the steer axle we have Bridgestone's 385/65 profile Super singles, and the very same on the mid-lift, and Goodyear's there, the K-Max D's on the drive axle, 315/80s, Alcoa aluminium wheels, nice trim on the side skirt there as well, and a light bar there at the bottom of the side skirt. Your AdBlue tank in between the chassis, and your 5th wheel is fixed in position. Your air tanks are positioned in between the rear mud guards, and we have 2 diesel tanks, of which are 200 litres, so 400 litres in total. Not very much diesel capacity on this truck. And this unit here, which was introduced with these new 13 litre engines, and it's now stuck on to the diesel tank, this is taking up so much valuable space on the chassis. It's taking up, I would reckon, about 100 litres of space. Could they not have positioned this elsewhere and given a bigger diesel capacity? Yeah, it's taking up so much space on the chassis. Your batteries are positioned here, and your hydraulic fluid tank and your Susies coming down, and the hoses. And yeah, up here as well we have an electronic rise and lower system there for the top air deflector kit. So that's quite good. It's just a button in the dashboard for rising and lowering that top part there on the air deflector. And yeah, your catwalk lamps there as well at the back. So moving around the rear, it's pretty much standard here at the back. On the S580 that I drive, I put checker plate here just to tidy it off, but this is how it comes standard from the factory. And your LED rear lamps, of course. So we're just gonna hop into the cab just to give you a look, and yeah, we have the Super badge there at the side as well. Now it's very handy on the side of this door. This is nice to have. This is for security at night when you're overnighting in the truck. It connects to the handle here. I'll show you that when we hop into the cab. Let's open up the side lockers. This bottom locker here, I can fit about 8 or 9 ratchet straps into this, no problem. On the S580 that I drive, pull the latch, and the top locker. So both of these lockers are the very same on either side of the truck. This, I feel, is just a waste of space. You gain access to this storage box here by lifting up the bottom bunk on the inside of the cab, but I just find it useless. I never use the one on the truck I drive, so I would throw this out and just give yourself more space. Loading up your side locker, 4 steps going up into the cab, and Nolan's have fitted a lamp there as well for when you're going in reverse, a remote there for the back axle, and your hydraulic lever there for all that system at the back of the cab. The seats are heated and cooled, and we've got lumbar adjustment, of course, and white stitching on the 6 cylinders. You would have red stitching on the V8s, of course, and the passenger seat has 2 armrests and also 2 there for the driver's side. Nice comfortable bunk. I lay on it a while back there. And we have the fridge as well, slide out from underneath the bottom bunk. Decent space in that. This handle's a bit loose, somebody must have damaged that, I think. And we have the drawer there, big decent space in that as well. And yeah, so as you can imagine, it being the S series with the flat floor, loads of headroom. I'm 6'2" and I still have loads of space above my head, of course. We have the coffee machine and the microwave. This is a very expensive option, but it's really nice to have in your truck. And we have a 12-volt socket there, and all those lockers have lamps in them. And we have the roof hatch there as well, which is you can block it out there from the light, and your fly shade there as well. I really like the top bunk on this. Now, the one that I drive has 3 lockers because it's the single occupancy layout. This one has the top bunk. So let me just pull down the ladder there, and you can slide it up there and up and down, and we'll clip it in nice and easy in there. I really like this as well, just one button and you can fold down the top bunk. It's so easy to do with that button, isn't it? And you just lift it up and look, it stays up just with one hand. Really like that. We have all our controls there. We have the USB socket, lighting controls. We can open and close the roof hatch, and your controls there for the night heater. You can turn that on and set it to different times to come on at night and even during the day, which is great. We have reading lamps there at the side and storage, and up here as well, this storage. I don't really use this on the truck I drive because anything I put up here usually falls out. And we have a fold out table. Yeah, that's pretty much the same as we've seen on the cabs previously, and nice silver trim above that fold out table area there, and silver trim back here as well, and the drawers there as well in the middle of the dashboard. And we have one continuous mat, actually. It goes the whole way across there, so that's nicely done. The rubber ones there just put on top just to protect the floor. And we have the wood trim on the steering wheel on this demonstrator. All the usual controls on the steering wheel, going down through your menus, up and down volume, and your different driving modes, and your retarder here as well, which is nice, good strong retarder. And we can do manual control as well if you want to go up and down through the gearbox manually, up and then down through your gearbox. All of the lighting controls here and window switches, lock and unlock your doors and adjust the mirrors there as well. So if I go up here, there is a blind spot camera up there, and I just want to show you the view that we have on the infotainment screen. So that is the view looking down at the front bumper. So it gives you a great view there at the front. Now, if you do have your phone connected up to this infotainment system, once you go above a certain speed, this will shut off and it'll just show your phone mirrored here on the infotainment screen. But once you go below a certain speed, like really slow speed, in around town and that, this comes on straight away automatically. So I really like that. That's nicely done from Scania. And okay, I'm just going to start it up just to give you guys a sound of the 6-cylinder engine. Yeah, it's not loud, of course, it's not the V8. Okay, I won't rev it too much. Who's the horn? Okay, close the door. So that is that security latch that goes in around the door handle there, and your handle for climbing into the cab. So that's quite nicely done. Okay, I think it's time to take it for a drive, see what it's like on the road. Okay, we're all hooked up. Let's hit the road. So we set off on the drive in the 560S, Scania's 13 litre straight 6-cylinder diesel engine. Develops 2,800 Newton meters of torque. So plenty of power from this engine. So that is the very same torque figure as the 530 V8 from Scania. So why would you bother with that when you can have this that has the same torque figure? Okay, the V8 is 22 kilowatts up on this engine, but yeah, this engine would be economical, of course, to run than the V8s. Some people prefer the V8. They feel they have a longer life than the 6 cylinders, but I suppose it all depends what way you look after the truck. And servicing, you can have just as much a long life with the 6-cylinder diesel engines. So yeah, just maneuvering around the yard, this light steering it's really nice to have on the truck. Now the front suspension is on full air. Now if you were to ask me, would I specify full air on a truck again? I don't think I would. It's nice to have if you want that extra clearance over curbs. You can rise and lower the front suspension, and it's nice and comfortable going over speed bumps and going over rough surfaces. But I feel that the leaf spring steel setup on the front axle gives you a better feel for the back roads. That's one thing I noticed hopping out of the R560 and into the S580 on full air. On the back roads, you just have a better feel with the steel leaf spring setup on the front steer axle. But it's still nice to have the air ride, but yeah, that's just something I noticed hopping from one truck into another. Now this engine, would you believe, has an overdrive gear. So we're in 12th at the moment. We're doing 80 kilometers, and I'm going to take it up to 90 kilometers just to give you guys a look at what happens when it goes up into 90. Now just have a look at the revs. Okay, we're up to 83 kilometers. We're not pulling a lot of weight. I've two 20-foot containers on board. There's not a lot of weight on them at all. So I'm up to 87 kilometers, and we're still in 12th gear. So it's going to go up into overdrive. So Scania don't have 13 on the dashboard. I don't know, are they superstitious or what? But it comes up OD. So if I flicked up, okay, and there you have it, OD. So I had it in manual mode. I can go back into auto mode with a touch of a switch here. And of course I can go back down into 12th gear. We're back into 86. And let me just give you a look at the revs. So we'll get it up to 85 kilometers. So I'm just coming in at 1150 revs at around 85 kilometers. And I'll get it up to 90 kilometers, and then we'll go into overdrive. So we're just on overdrive now, and you can see we're revving in at 950 RPM. So that's quite low. On the S580 that I drive, that would be coming in at 1050 RPM. So this is revving quite low at 90 kilometers. And it's all done to save fuel on the 13 litre diesel engine, of course. But one thing I did notice driving this truck, when it does go into overdrive, if you were to compare it to my truck and the sound that it makes, it almost sounds like I would be driving my truck if it were labouring, going up a hill, maybe 11th gear, and it's kind of struggling for power. I just get that feeling with this truck when it goes into overdrive. You get that kind of a humming sound from the engine. So yeah, that's one thing I noticed driving the two trucks back to back. When it goes into top gear, overdrive, you just get that hum from the engine, almost like I'm driving my other truck when it's kind of labouring on a hill. So just a minor detail, and I don't know, is that something Scania can improve in the future, maybe to kind of tone down that humming noise? I don't know, but just something I noticed. And we're just going to make our way around the hill. Now at low speeds, of course, the steering is light, and it does weight up when you gather speed, which is good. Now you see this blind spot camera, the way it's showing at the moment on the infotainment screen. when I build up speed, that will go back to the phone. So that's nice to have, nicely thought out. And I'm just going to power up this hill. I think I'll go into power mode actually. In fact, I won't. I'll just go into manual mode. And I'll go up the hill manually. So I'm in 8th gear. I'm not going to over rev it. Just to give you guys a sound of the straight 6 engine. So there's decent enough power there, 2,800 Newton meters of torque, which is actually 100 Newton meters more than the R560 V8 that I used to drive. Now we're back up into 12th gear, and I'm just going to go into auto mode, and then it goes into overdrive. So if I switch back, I'm going to say nothing, just listen to the two tones from the engine from 12th gear into overdrive. 12th gear. Then I'm going to switch it up into overdrive. Just listen to the tone difference. Can you hear it? Yeah, there's a kind of a low humming noise. So will this engine replace the 530? I mean, is there any point having that 530 V8 when this one is almost as powerful? Same torque figure, just 22 kilowatts down on the V8. So 9 straight 6-cylinder 13-litre engines in the Scania lineup, 4 of which are the super engine and 5 of which are the non-super engine. So what's the difference, you might say? Well, it's just the torque figure. So on average you've got 100 Newton meters or 150 Newton meters more with the super engines rather than the non-super engines. It all depends on what engine you specify. Now this is the G33 gearbox in this truck. You can of course get the G25 gearbox in some of the other 13-litre diesel engines. I mean, to drive it isn't a hell of a lot different than the old gearbox, to be honest. I don't notice a whole lot of difference, but it is lighter of course. Scania have shaved off between 60 and 75 kilos of weight on this new gearbox, depending on what specification you buy. You're shaving off a nice bit of weight. So the G33 gearbox in this truck, and it's the same gearbox in 3 of the 4 V8 engines. The 770 Scania does not have this new gearbox yet. It's still using the old GRS 0926R gearbox. The gearbox on the S580 that I drive is the GRS 0925R gearbox. And that's where I'm going to leave it today from the Scania 560S with its 13-litre straight 6-cylinder diesel engine. Yeah, very nice truck to drive and quite powerful as well. Just as powerful as the 530 V8 on their lineup. Just 22 kilowatts in the difference really. So yeah, just go for this over that 530 V8. Yeah, I can't really see any point having that on Scania's lineup, but there you go. Some people prefer it. Some people would go for this instead. So please do check it out at T. Nolan & Sons Scania down in Castle Island, County Kerry. Maybe you want to take it out for a spin yourself and see how it goes for economy on your fleet. Take care guys, thanks for watching. I'll chat to you all again in the next one. Cheers! Okay, so the windscreen washer wipers are on, spraying water, but this one doesn't have the washer jet that comes out here and sprays onto the headlight. This one doesn't have it.